You're thinking it might be time to sell the cabin, but the idea of getting ready to sell sounds daunting. Well, never fear. I'm here to help you become the master of preparedness. Welcome to Cabin Connections in northwestern Wisconsin, where we have hundreds of lakes and rivers and thousands of acres of wooded land, and we're just a couple of hours from the Twin Cities. This is Cabin Land. I'm Wanda Boldon, and I've been helping people buy and sell real estate in northwestern Wisconsin for over 25 years. This channel is all about helping people get connected and stay connected to our beautiful lakes and recreation area. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Cabins, the place where memories are made and inner peace is restored. But maybe you're starting to make memories elsewhere, and the idea of taking care of the cabin no longer gives you inner peace. That's okay. There isn't a darn thing wrong with you. It's perfectly normal to move on to different things. Most of us don't lie awake at night thinking about how to prepare and sell real estate. Well, except for maybe yours truly. Selling real estate is my love language, and I love to help people get it right. In today's video, I'm going to give you some broad categories where you can focus. And after you check all of these boxes, you'll be well on your way to being ready to hit the market. It will come as no surprise to you that you're going to have to do some cleaning. Neat, clean, and orderly win the prize every day. So if you declutter, depersonalize, and deodorize, buyers are sure to have a delightful experience. As you declutter, the operative words running through your mind should be clear the decks. Surfaces should be cleared with only a few placeholders here and there. Remember, you're trying to ready the space for the lens of the camera, which isn't as forgiving as the human eye. And that includes things like brightly colored and patterned throw blankets and the collection of coats, boots, and outerwear that hangs by the door. But clear the decks shouldn't be confused with institutionalized sanitation. You still want the place to feel welcoming. So as you depersonalize, feel free to keep some photos in place showing good times at the cabin. Buyers like to be a part of your special moments, so feel free to show them the love, just a little bit. The next stop on the road to delighting buyers is deodorizing. You may be accustomed and unfazed to the unique smells that make up your life. But pets and smoking are two of the biggest offenders to buyers. But you may also have a mildew smell or an LP gas smell that could be off-putting in your cabin and could also be safety concerns. So don't plug your nose and look the other way. Expanding on the topic of safety concerns is the whole category related to repairs and maintenance. If you want to get the strongest offer possible and the best offer imaginable, you'll want to address major repairs and maintenance items up front. And that goes to the roof, the septic, the well, the heat supply. Those items are usually the biggest ticket items and the ones that are of most concern to buyers. So take the time to have the septic pumped, the furnace service, make sure all of your light bulbs are in good working order, check your locks, and make sure that you have keys for all of your buildings. Then make a list of any recent repairs that you've made and include the cost if you can do that as well. That's a good sign to buyers that you've been a good caretaker of your cabin. And if for some reason you just can't address repairs and maintenance before putting your property on the market, be sure to disclose any defects that you're aware of on your property condition report. Your realtor can guide you through that process, but it's the best way to ensure that a buyer is aware of and acceptable to any issues. Now let's turn our attention to the outside. I know they say you can't judge a book by its cover, but people do. So do yourself a favor and make some effort to create a really great first impression. Many of the things that you need to do outdoors are common sense items, but I'd begin by getting out the pressure washer and beating back the cobwebs, which seem to be everywhere. I'd remove any moss from the roof, and if you have any trees or branches hanging down on the cabin, I'd trim those back as well. You should make sure that your windows are sparkly clean, and if you're on water, be sure your dock is in and that your frontage is looking its best. And depending on the time of year, you'll need to make arrangements to make sure the grass is cut or the snow is removed. And now's a great time to look for any pertinent documents that might be helpful in the sale of your property. For instance, if you have a copy of your previous title insurance work, that can save you some money in the preparation of the title work for the upcoming sale. If you have any special maps that show trails throughout the property or that indicate forest plantations, they would be helpful for a buyer. And if your corners are not clearly marked, now would be a good time to do that. But only if you know where they are. If not, in some instances, you might want to have a surveyor help you with that process. If you have any unrecorded easements or agreements with neighbors, now would be a great time to make them official. That could include things like a road maintenance agreement, fencing boundaries, or hunting rights. You don't want your buyer to open a can of worms after closing. And if you want to avoid that whole can of worms thing, you should consult a realtor, someone like me, before you get too far into any of these preparations. They can be a wonderful guide for you, start to finish, to help you prepare your property for its marketing and its photo session. And you can provide them with a list of things that you'd like to include with the property, and even a list of things that you'd be willing to sell. Oftentimes with cabins, there are toys and equipment that are best utilized if they stay with the cabin. And things like boats, ATVs, and tractors usually have a value that warrant a separate purchase price in addition to the property. And there you have it. I hope I've been able to boil things down into easy to manage categories. But if you still feel overwhelmed, don't be afraid to ask family or friends for help, or even pay a vendor. It's the end result that you should feel good about. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss my next video. And you can also find me on Facebook and learn more on my blog. I'll put links to those below. Let's stay connected. I'll see you next time.